Hey guys, so it's here bringing you another video. Now, welcome to something, it's not really different, but it is kind of different. We're doing a kind of Riot Please a dev update video like we have done for a while, but this one's a different format because Riot's been doing articles, usually, that kind of gives us the updates of what they're doing, but this time, apparently, they've done a video. I'll say, I haven't watched this video yet, I'm going to be watching it for the first time with you guys, and I'm going to be kind of like live reacting. So I'll be pausing it and stuff like that, giving my thoughts, and then obviously in the comment section I want to hear what you guys think. And all I know is like item system overall. So if I click this, it should pop up.
Hey,
and here we go.
Here, on behalf of the league team. So let's recap. What's happened in league since last update? A few keynotes.
Which is like a month ago.
Season starts kickoff, the Fiddlesticks and Volabear updates, the Shy Lilia, and now Yone's grand return during the Spirit Blossom event. Now we definitely know which champions you date. We've also nearly finished releasing all the skins we promised for underserved champions earlier this year.
So I say that's really cool. So like, I've had to say this a lot throughout the years. People, even in my comment section, are like, why don't they release a skin for my champion? The basic answer is League of Legends is a free-to-play game. You know, anybody can play it. It's free. You can literally do the whole experience of League free. So they have to be smart with what skins they make. That's how Riot make their money. It's cosmetics. 90% probably of it, maybe even more. Because there's not that many people that are buying champions with Riot points. I think most people are buying skins, maybe TFT stuff now, obviously Hex loot. So that's why. But obviously we've got some really nice skins here. That was a cool skin. Like honestly, well, the skin department I don't think makes really bad skins anymore at Riot, so that's good. With
just 3 left for Nautilus, Ornn, and Skarner.
Ooh, that's cool.
League still has more in store, like the gunslinging marksman Samira, whose kit revolves around comboing with style, and she'll be coming out in the PsyOps event next patch.
So there you go. If you didn't get that, again, we're gonna have to pause it. She's coming out next patch in the PsyOps event. Again, weirdly, Riot's been splitting their loot stuff events. I don't know if I'm a big fan of it. Let me know what you think, because in the Blossom event, there was like 2 halves to it. In the PsyOps now, there's 2 halves to it. I think it's a little bit, and I'm going to say the word, and I don't like saying it, but it's a bit greedy, right? Because like, in the loot event, there's the orbs that you can buy, and for buying one of the orbs, you get these certain things. And then, I didn't even know, in the Spirit one, they came up with all new different types of loot orbs. And it was like, really? Like, to me, that's a bit much, but obviously they are making a lot more skins per event now. Before they made, you know, 3 or 4. Now there is like 6 or 7. So that there are more skins per event, but I'm just not a big fan of the split event. Again, that's just me, but yeah.
Today we're going to talk a little bit more about our gameplay plans for preseason, which is about updating League's item system. And after that, we'll spend some time covering some of the recent work done towards curbing game ruining behavior.
Ooh. Oh yeah, the nurse stuff.
Before we jump into it, we just want to thank all of you for participating in the COVID-19 charity fundraiser. Players all over the world came together and raised over $2 million for global pandemic relief.
That's good.
From all of us at Riot, thank you for helping make a difference.
So again, if you guys didn't know, Riot did chromas for like the Surgeon Shen, the MD Kennen and Nurse Akali. They did chromas and all, I don't want to say all, but I know a lot of the profit, maybe all of the profit from those skins will go to charity. And, you know, they're old skins. $2 million for old skins and chromas and stuff, that's really good. You know, maybe if they made a brand new skin, it would be more, but $2 million is fantastic, and hopefully it does go to a really good charity to help, you know, the medical staff and stuff. Okay, here we go.
Now let's get into our gameplay plans for preseason. If you haven't heard, we're working on a complete overhaul to items in League of Legends.
Yeah.
We've improved items and chunks over the years, but we've never really had the
opportunity
to take the time and do a full pass on the whole system at once. So going into the second decade of League, we want to make sure we're improving the foundations the game is built on, and just modernizing them over time so they continue to feel high quality. As a part of the update, we're also going to create a whole brand new shop interface that's easier to use and smarter about the recommendations it makes.
So yeah, that's the new shop. That looks really good. So in the first update, when they were like, here's the new shop, just to remind you, the commonly built stuff, that is basically, if you go on any website, like MOBA, Fire, well not MOBA, like any of the guide websites, u.gg, any of those, all they do if it's not a specific guide that a user has made, like Vixie does her guides for Ari, Bizzle does support ones, they're actual guides. On a website like u.gg, all they do is they look up the data from a certain rank on that champion, and they just see what the most common things are built in an order, and that's what they show you. So that's probably more or less what this is. Maybe it's not in order, so it kind of does seem though it might be. Again, I can't... Oh, is this Ari? It might be Ari with that Q, and yeah, that might be Ari. So that's the new Doran's ring, I would guess. There's obviously Boots. That might be Ludens, the new look of Ludens. That's a bit weird for a proto belt. That's Morello Nomicon. Deathcap Void Stuff, I'd imagine. That's Zonya's Hourglass. And that... Riley? Like, the only thing I'd say, initial impression of the new artwork, is it too busy? To me, like it's very detailed, all of the new, but is it too much? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, wow. Void Staff, Rabadon, Death. I honestly didn't look at those, so I was correct. That's funny. But also, yeah, good against, so it's showing counters that may be in the game against you. It's like, oh, commonly built item against Yasuo is a Hourglass, and he's against you in this game. So honestly, that's really good. But I do think some of these images might just be a little bit too busy. Like at first glance, like maybe it's because we're so used to stuff, but at first glance, it's not obvious because there's just so much going on. But that's just me.
The biggest change we're making is the introduction of a new type of item called Mythics. Mythic items are the cornerstone in your builds, with big effects that define your playstyle from game to game. Each Mythic also grants unique bonus stats to your other completed items, so they shape your build even after their initial purchase. You can only wield one Mythic item at a time, so you'll have to make careful strategic choices when deciding which one to build each game. So let's look at the marksman.
Lucian top.
Do you need to survive an Assassin's Burst or keep yourself alive when taking enemy fire? Then Crimson Shield Bow will give you the sustain and defense you need.
Okay. 50 attack damage, 15% attack speed, crit, lifesteal. Oh, God. When you take damage that would reduce your health below 30, gain extra health. Oh, Jesus. And AD carries don't already. Okay. And then also Mythic passive empowers other legendary items with +8 armor and magic resist. So a legendary item is like a fully completed item, by the way. So a Infinity Edge is a legendary item, I would presume. So initial impression, again, I have not heard this, by the way. This is my first time hearing it. I don't know if I'm a fan, personally, initially. And it's not that, you know, people go, oh, it's just change. I'm fine with change. I've played the game for 10 years. I am worried that it's a balance issue. So, obviously, I need to see all the items to have a full thingy. But the reason why I'm a bit worried initially is Riot, and any video game for that matter, has issues when it comes to items, talents, and stuff like that. There's always something that's the best, pretty much. Like, if you go on World of Warcraft, there's the best talent points. There's the best items to min and max your stats. If you're in League, there's always generally the best talents and runes. It's very, very hard for some reason to get away from that. I think most games struggle. So to me, it's like, oh, there's so many options of Mythic items to choose from. I would presume you're practically going to pick the same one every game, unless they've done something magical. But like this, honestly, why wouldn't an AD carry want this? And maybe it's, oh, you got really fed, and there's one that actually just enables you to do more damage. So instead of giving you +8 armor and magic resist, it gives you +15 attack damage for each legendary completed item. Maybe, but still, an AD carry's main problem that AD carries love to complain about is survivability, even though they should be able to die fairly quick, right? They're an AD carry, high DPS, squishy. This type of item is obviously covering off that area. So if every champion in the game has an item that covers off their weakness, what's the point in them? You know, that's where my thinking is. If everybody has an item that just covers off what their main weakness is, well, then there's no point actually having those items. You may as well not have them. So, like, there could be a Mythic passive that gives you more tenacity, so a Juggernaut doesn't get slowed as much. Like, it's going to be covered. Like, my initial is these items are there to cover off a weakness that you have. So if everybody has that, then what's the point in them in general? That's my thinking.
Or maybe you can trust your team to keep you alive instead of go all in on raw DPS with the new Behemoth Slayer.
So this one is more like, this is the damage one that I said they would obviously have an option for that. So more attack damage, more attack speed, more crit. Every third attack deals extra true damage. Holy, oh, I nearly said a bad word. So it's extra true damage. That's 8, depending level. Level 1, 80 damage. Well, you're not going to have these items at level 1. At level 18, base 240, plus 30% of total AD. So this is probably for like a Caitlyn. Isn't going to be for like an on-hit attack speed marksman because they don't get too much attack damage. This is more for like, well, even maybe a Varus if you're going a certain AD build, or like a Lucian. There's probably an attack speed variant, obviously. But yeah, this one does true damage every third auto, which actually, that could be an attack speed build, I guess, because the quicker you attack, the more true damage you're dealing. But then also Mythic passive empowers other legendary items with +5 crit strike damage, which again, if the cap is still 100% crit, then this is the type of item that they did mention earlier. You'd have to kind of take these as your cornerstone, that if you're going a crit build, you have to know you've got Behemoth Slayer, so you're gaining 5% crit for every single item you complete. So you might not aim to try and get 100% crit from your base items, because you could go something else, because 4 items completed, or 5 items completed, or a full build, you'll have 100% crit with Behemoth Slayer. That does add variance, I'll give it that. But again, if let's say you're an AD carry main and you love doing this type of Behemoth Slayer build, you're just going to build it every game. I think people are just going to get into their way of building mainly the same Mythic item every game. That's what I'm worried about.
For the games where you need mobility to dodge incoming threats and reposition to make big plays, Gale Force's dash might be the...
Whoa. Wait. Jinx does dashed? No. Oh, God, no. So this one is, again, 60 attack damage, 50% attack speed, 20% crit. Active. Dash a short distance, cannot go across walls, and deal bonus damage plus 30% AD, magic damage to the lowest health nearby enemy. Damage increases with enemy missing health. Oh my God. And then also gives bonus movement speed. Okay. So what I'm getting, and again, it's a live reaction, I'm learning as we're going, these items are just overpowered, but that's the point of them. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. An AD carry, so I've... items are here to cover off your weakness. Well, Jinx, Ashe are AD carries that have no mobility. They're not like Ezreal that has his teleport E, or Tristana that's got her jump. They struggle if they don't dodge, and it's very easy for, let's say, a Blitzcrank to get on them, whatever. These items are literally, they're covering off your weaknesses. So like there, you just saw before this little fight, watch Jinx. She dodges the Blitzcrank hook.
Gale Force's dash might be the tool.
It's literally covering off her main weakness. So my point again is, if these items are literally there just to cover off everybody's weaknesses, what's the point in them? Because then everybody is just covering off their own weakness, therefore no one has a weakness. Or their main weakness. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced yet.
Beyond Mythics, we're also assessing all 200 items in the current shop to ensure that they have a clear purpose, healthy gameplay, and are satisfying to use.
That's good.
For a lot of League items, they already hit this bar, so you can expect some classic items like Rabadon's Death Cap to remain nearly unchanged.
Yeah, makes sense.
For items that are falling a bit short, though, we'll keep their core identity intact, but update their design to meet the new standard. For example, Steric's Gauge will be about burst defense still, but tied more clearly to his teamfight strength. And in some cases, some items offered effects that were really far off the mark to salvage, overlap too heavily with other options, or whose intended purposes can be better served in other ways. And so we'll be saying goodbye to a portion of the shop, but you can rest assured that those open spots will be put to good use. We'll be creating new items to fill gaps in the current system. Among other things, that means that, yep, we're finally going to be marking items that are specifically designed for AP Bruiser champions.
That's good. 80 that's a lot of ability power. 400 health. Ability damage applies Azakana's Embrace for 4 seconds. Azakana's Embrace, the target takes 2% of their maximum health as magic damage every second. You gain 20 armor and magic resist every second while enemies are affected. Whoa. Huh. Damn. Mordekaiser. Damn. Yeah. Okay. So I will say, this is good. The AP Bruiser area has been what I would say greatly kind of forgotten about for a long time. There used to be more items that actually went into AP Bruiser years ago, and we are talking years ago. Will of the Ancients being one of them. It's hard to remember all the names. But yeah, there used to be more. But yeah, no, that seems a strong item. Again, do remember, and I should probably say this little emblem down here in the video means, if you ever see this emblem in anything that Riot do, it means work in progress. So work in progress means subject to change. So they may look at this community feedback and change everything. They may change nothing. So this item is subject to change. It could be more expensive. It could have less ability power, more health, less health. The passive, the embrace could change. So it's where, again, these videos, we don't have an overreaction to them. We have a reaction, we have an opinion, but don't do an overreaction. Don't call Riot, if you don't like it, you don't have to call Riot names. They will adapt it. That's the one thing which game companies have to do nowadays because it's so competitive, is if you don't like these changes and it ruins the game for you, well, again, you can go play another game. Riot don't want you to go play another game, so they will be willing to change stuff, and that's why they have done that so many times. The mess of Season 9 with the rank queues, well, they stepped back because they realised the player base didn't like it. That's what they do. But I will say, I'm excited about a new item system. It has been relatively the same the whole time I've played League for 10 years. And I do think it is needed. And yeah, like giving a bit of love to AP Bruisers, I welcome that, but I will also say there isn't a crazy amount of them. Maybe there isn't a crazy amount of them because Riot knew they don't have many items that go with AP Bruisers. So as a prediction, with this item change coming out, and if they're releasing all these items to AP Bruisers, expect maybe 1 or 2 AP Bruiser new champions next season. That would be just an easy guess.
Like the Cursed Demon Helm. All in all, you can expect about a third of the items to remain nearly the same, a third to be similar but improved, and a third to be replaced with these new additions.
Cool.
For those of you whose eyes glaze over every time you open the shop, this is the update for you. We're going to completely revamp both the recommended and all items shop pages. We redesigned the recommended items page for players who want a more streamlined shop experience.
It's really good.
They want to choose between, say, Frozen Heart, Thornmail, or Randuin's based off the game state, but don't enjoy sifting through the shop to find those options. Recommended items will surface sets of item choices that adapt as the game progresses, and evolve patch by patch based on how the best players are building each champion. The All Items page is still for players who want quick access to as much of the shop as possible, and rely on muscle memory to purchase items quickly. Things won't move around game to game or champ to champ, but will highlight current...
Also, if you look up here, all the filters, so you can change the filters and stuff. And you can like popularize items and stuff. So like it's basically what it seems to be. The item shop is basically merging, like we said earlier, the websites like u.gg and Mobalytics and stuff. They're moving kind of that idea into League of Legends, which I think is really smart. It was kind of weird how you have to go on these third-party websites to get like what's the common items high rating people are building in my situation. You had to go on those websites. Now it's going to be inbuilt into the client. So I imagine those websites aren't very happy because they're going to have less traffic, but it seems to be a good thing overall.
Popular items to make them easier to spot. You can expect to see all of these updates on PvE soon for an extended testing period, and be on the lookout for an article with more details soon.
Oh, here we go.
Intentional game ruining behavior has been a hot topic in the community recently. And honestly...
Not recently. Voyboy started it, but it's been a thing for many years. But just because Voyboy made a video on it, now Riot finally paid attention. I will just say that. And that actually annoyed me a bit. Like, I'm happy that, oh, Riot's taking it seriously. But why did it take... And again, all respect to Voyboy, I think he's an amazing content creator. But it was like, people have been shouting about this stuff for years of like, the game is being ruined somewhat by people being toxic. It should have been fixed years ago. But I don't know. It's annoying, but I am happy it's finally being fixed.
This is just something we need to address more. In May, we committed to a large, long-term effort to tackle issues like champion select griefing, inting, and AFKs. And so towards the first point, the first change we tested was champion select reporting and muting. We wanted to give players a real way to respond to game ruining behavior before loading into the game. Pretty quickly, we found that many reports were coming from players whose teammates banned the champion they were hovering. So we...
I'll just say quickly, I'm not obviously opposed to using reports if a person is being toxic or whatever. There is, I think, in the community somewhat of a, oh, does my report mean anything? Should I even bother? But when it comes to champion select, personally, and I only can speak from personal, I haven't used it that much, report feature. I've never found champion select that toxic. And when it came to hostage situations, that like someone's trying to troll your role or steal your role, I actually will say, as soon as the report feature came about, I haven't really experienced that anymore. And it might be because people know now that they can be reported in champion select before they force someone to dodge. I think it has worked. Like, at least for me, let me know what you think. But yeah. And she just said before we muted there, most people were actually throwing reports of people banning their hovered champion. Which again is a hot topic because the ban system is there for you to pick a champion you do not want in your game. You are not right or wrong for that thing. For example, let's say you absolutely detest Lulu. For whatever reason, you just hate Lulu with a passion, and you have vowed to yourself, I am never playing with or against a Lulu for the rest I play League of Legends. That's completely fine. That is up to you. You have the right for that. But a teammate hovers it. Well, then who is in the right? Who is in the wrong? It's a really awkward situation. Because I don't think anybody is in the right or wrong in that situation. Someone literally hates that champion so much that they ban it every game, and someone wants to play the champion. So it's a hard situation.
We added a confirm ban prompt. You'll still be able to go through the ban if you want. Sometimes if you just really don't want to see a certain champion, that's what your ban is for.
So that there pretty much to me confirms that Riot basically is saying banning someone else's champion, hovered champ, is not a reportable offense. Because if Riot were basically like, no, someone's hovering it, you cannot ban it, well, they wouldn't let you ban it. Instead, they just added a little prompt going, your teammate is hovering it, are you sure? You click OK, it bans. If they were like, it's report worthy, you're not allowed to do that, well, instead of a little pop-up having, it would more be, oh, no, you cannot ban this champion because X teammate's hovering it. Sorry. But no, that's basically Riot saying, yeah, it's a tricky situation, but you can still ban it. It's not reportable. So there you go.
But the prompt makes sure you know it's a champ your teammate wants to play, so you don't ban them by accident. We'll also hook champ select reports into our overall report management and post-game penalty system. And so in the future, we'll work to expand that system to let us take action on champ select reports inside champ select.
Ooh.
With that, we shifted our focus recently to address in-game behaviors like inting and AFKing.
A lot in
Our
Season 10.
automatic detection systems are now identifying these behaviors at almost twice the rate as before, and we're working on more improvements to catch cellular cases that are still slipping through the cracks. In addition to better detection methods, we're also exploring ways to sharpen the penalty system, and this may include things like stricter queue lockout times and ranked LP penalties.
Yes.
Finally, we know it's impossible to stop this behavior entirely, which is why we're looking into ways to at least make it less painful when it does happen. This includes improvements to the early surrender vote so you don't get stuck in a 4v5, and LP mitigation of ranked so you don't drop so hard for someone else's griefing.
So that's really good. So we've said for a while, when it comes to the game of League of Legends, forget pro play, the game, sometimes you got to sacrifice a bit of competitive integrity for enjoyment, gameplay. So I remember years ago having a conversation with a Rioter, and I said, like, what about like LP? Not, you know, my LP shouldn't be punished if someone's inting or toxic. And it was like, oh, it never can be done because for competitive integrity, it would be too difficult to kind of balance that. Well, now I think Riot has realized people are literally leaving the game at a pretty fast pace because of this negative behavior, because it sucks. Like, Season 10 for me has been one of the worst seasons because of other people's behavior, inting, griefing, toxic. And, you know, when I'm saying toxic, I don't even have chat on anymore. I mean, like, in-game toxicity, doing crazy things, following you around if you make one mistake as a jungler, you suddenly have the AD carry following you around trying to steal your stuff. Like, it's nuts how much is going on this season. And I think Riot has finally realised we should lessen the competitive nature of League in solo queue a little bit for giving just nicer things, you know, the punishments against this toxic behavior, trying to make sure it doesn't happen as much. And if it does happen, which again, they say they cannot stop because people are people, at least it will be not as punishment for you. Yes, you've got the experience, you've got the time wasted, but at least my LP didn't go 20 down LP, or at least I didn't get demoted in that troll game. That's happened to me several times this season. I got demoted because I had an inter. You know, I was at 0 LP, and that was the game that demoted me. It sucks enough getting demoted. It sucks even more when you had an inter in your game and you could do nothing about it. So it's good. Riot is finally doing something again. Is it a bit too late? Maybe, but I'm happy that they are.
We know there's still more work to do, but just wanted to share the progress so far, and we'll keep working to make real improvements in this space. While we focus on League today, there's also a lot going on in the League overall universe. For starters, we're just a few short weeks away from the start of our historic 10th World Championship, which is happening in China this year. The esports team has been working hard to plan another amazing experience for you
I'll watch a bit of it, I think.
While you've already begun to see some of the content, we have a few more surprises in store. The latest set for Teamfight Tactics launches with patch 10.19.
Looks good.
In it, TFT Fates features a mythical fantasy world filled with all new champions, origins, classes, little legends, and arenas.
Yep.
Our friends on Legends of Runeterra recently released their latest expansion, Call of the Mountain, which adds Targon as a region along with 7 new champions.
Cool.
Be on the lookout for more news later this year from the upcoming Riot Forge game, Ruin King, a League of Legends story. Finally, it's an exciting time for our friends on Wild Rift, so be on the lookout for more news from them. We hope you and your loved ones are staying safe. From all of us at Riot, thanks for playing and take care.
Cool. Well, that was a really, really nice update. So yeah, I've given my thoughts throughout the video, but I'd say the item changes, very welcome item changes. Like, I think it is a good thing. I am a little bit concerned about the mythic items, like just a little bit. Like, trust me, not overly. I've got faith in Riot, but like my main concern, I know I said it several times. Like, okay, if every item is overpowered, okay, well everybody's got an overpowered item, so it's somewhat balanced, right? That kind of makes sense. As long as they're not, like, you know, there isn't just one, like the AD carry one is way stronger than the mage one or something. If they balance them to be equally overpowered, fair enough. My main just takeaway of it is, literally I said it several times, is if these items, which seems to be the case, is there to hide a weakness that you as an individual may have or your champion has. So if you do find yourself mispositioning a bit and you die because you get bursted, well, getting more armor and magic resist may be for you. And that's your weakness. You're covering your weakness of mispositioning. Or you are an Ashe one trick and you hate people that have hooks. Well, you buy the dash one that enables you to have a little dash. It's covering the weakness. If everybody has a cover weakness option, isn't it then everybody's kind of overpowered and even then on a level playing field? And then what's the point of everybody covering off a weakness? I don't know. Because then because then the juggernaut options, you can see it. The juggernaut options are going to be like movement speed to be faster, or less slow resist, or sorry, more slow resist so they can get to people faster themselves, or less, you know, a CC that they can't get CC'd as much, because that's the main weakness of juggernauts. Same as tanks, or tanks could be increases your CC duration for a little bit. And it's stuff like that that I think it's going to be very close, and they have to be very careful of that getting a little bit out of control. That's all I will say. That's my biggest takeaway from the item system. I'm happy about it. I'm excited about it. I do think it's needed. But these mythic items, I did not know about them at all. I think they just have to be very careful about them. But that's going to be it. If you guys enjoyed this kind of new, different type of video, still doing kind of like a dev update, but because it was in video format, doing a live react video, watching it for the first time with you guys, do throw a like on the video. It'd be great if we can get over 500 likes. And please do leave your opinion down below. What do you think? If you disagree with me, that's fine. If you agree with me, cool. Let me know, because do remember and do remind yourself, Rioters do kind of scout around on videos quite a lot because they got rid of the official Riot boards because it was an absolute mess. So they do kind of take feedback from places, you know, League partners here or there. Reddit probably a bit, their Twitter feeds, and YouTube comment sections like here. So please do leave your feedback, because there is a good chance a rioter may be lurking. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe. Adios, amigos. Goodbye.